Jo Barclay-Logie and welcome to another mini tutorial. We've looked at peyote stitch in a little bit of detail. We've looked at even count and we've looked at 2-drop and 3-drop even count peyote. Odd count peyote is something that a lot of people shy away from. There are thousands of patterns available out there on the internet that use odd count peyote, and there are also a number of ways you can do the turns in your odd count peyote, and I'm going to show you the way that I do it, the way that I have found the easiest to do it, and hopefully it'll help you with your odd count patterns and it won't be such a stumbling block in the future. Before we start, I thought I'd just show you 2 bracelets that I've done using odd count peyote stitch. I always feel that your patterns can become a bit more intricate when you're using odd count, and the best thing about it is it can give you a central line. So this turquoise bead is in the center of my design, and I've got an equal number of beads either side. So for today we're going to use 2 different colors. We've got the silver and the turquoise, and I'm going to start by adding a stopper bead, which pick up a bead that's not in your design because it's not part of your design. Take your needle back through it, and it just means that any beads you add on now are not going to slip off the end there. Odd count, we're going to be using an odd number of beads. So I'm picking up 5 of my silvers, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to let those slip down to my stopper bead, and they're not going anywhere. I always like to bead away from myself. I find it a bit easier, so I'm going to turn around and bead back towards that gold stopper bead using the other color, turquoise, and this turn is just your regular turn when you're doing peyote stitch. So I've picked up 1 bead, I'm going to skip over the first silver and I'm going to go through the second one. I'm going to pull my threads through all the way just need to get this one in place. It's always tricky when you're starting because you don't have an awful lot to hold on to. So I'm going to do regular peyote up this little strip. So pick up a bead, my thread is exiting from this first silver, I skip over the next one and I go through the next one. Can you see how that is starting to look like your ordinary peyote with your sticky outy beads? So I've got 1 more now. Pick up a bead. I would skip over the silver, but the gold is my stopper bead. It's not part of the design, so I can't use that. I'm just going to move it slightly down the tail of my thread so that I don't get it involved in the pattern. So this is the first of our unusual turns now because we don't have a bead to go through. So I've picked up 1 of the turquoise and I'm going to bead this way. And on this very first turn with the turquoise, I'm going to be coming through 3 beads. It's the only time you're going to come through 3. So it's back down through the 2 silvers and through the 1 turquoise on that diagonal slant. And I'm going to pull my thread through. And this one that you've just added might need a bit of coaxing into position. It doesn't want to play ball initially, so we just pop it into position, and there you can see it looks like normal peyote now. I've got my 3 sticky outy turquoise beads. I now need to get back up to the top so that I am coming ready to bead down through this turquoise bead. So I'm going to take my thread straight across this cross section here where my needle is, and I'm going to go through that silver bead. And when I pull my thread through, it will just disappear into that cross section of beads there. So I'm pulling through and it's disappeared. Remember, I want to be coming in this direction through the turquoise bead. So I need to bead up to the top and be exiting through that bead just before the turquoise one. So I'm going to come up the 2 silver beads. And I'm ready to turn and come through that turquoise on the outer edge. So I'm going to flip over here. And here we go with ordinary peyote. The sticky outy beads are very easy to see. Pick up a bead, skip a bead and go through the next sticky outy. Pick up a bead, skip a bead and go through the next sticky outy. Remember, on one side we have a regular turn each time, and this is our regular turn. So I'm going to pick up a turquoise and I just turn round and I go through that sticky outy. Pick up a turquoise and go through that sticky outy. Pick up a turquoise. No sticky outy to go through. So it's our special turn here, and this time, the first time we did it, we went through 3. We now only need to go through 2 from now onwards. So I've picked up the turquoise and I'm going to come back on the diagonal through that turquoise and silver bead. Coax that one into position. And again, I'm going to go straight across. I need to come up through the bead before the one that I want to be beading back down through. So I'm coming straight across the turquoise, straight across the silver, through that silver, and then up through the turquoise before the one that I want to continue beading through. So you can see where my thread is exiting there, and I'm going to turn and come back through the one alongside. I'm going to do it once more for you. So this is the regular one with the silvers, straight up. I flip my work over to come back the other way. I've got a regular turn here to begin with, through the sticky outies. Pick up my bead. I've hit the problem area. There's no sticky outie to bead through. So I turn to come back through 2 on the diagonal. Help that one into place. Straight across 1 to the left. And up through the bead alongside the one that I'm going to continue my beadwork through. So it's the one just before, and I can then turn and come back through the bead where I continue my work. And we'll just go through it one last time. This is very regular, like you would do your ordinary peyote, and I will pop links below this video to the flat even count peyote. A normal turn to begin with. It's getting a bit easier now because there's a bit more to hold on to. Right, I've picked up my turquoise bead. There's nothing to go through, so I'm coming back the other way on the diagonal through 2. Help it into position. Straight across 1 bead to the left. And then I need to be exiting the bead just before the one that I'm going to turn back through. So you'll notice that you pick up that bead and you come down on a diagonal that way, you bead across and you're back on a diagonal the other way. So it's a bit like an X that you're forming. So I can turn and come through the bead ready to continue my work. And that's really all there is to your odd count peyote stitch. Thanks for watching. Bye.